Time to go racing in the fast lane with Jeff Owens, who joins us every Friday night right here on Sports Talk as they go to Pocono here this weekend. Jeff, good evening. How you doing on this Friday?
Hey, guys. How are you?
We're doing well. Corn's out on vacation, so we're trying to piece it together with duct tape and baling wire, but we've made it to almost the end of the week.
Well, at least you're not singing, so that's good.
Is that an indictment on all of our singing or just Phil's?
No, just Phil. Just Phil.
Totally understand. So how was your, gosh, I hadn't had a chance to talk to you since before last week, so how was your 4th of July weekend?
Not bad. Had a good weekend and watched the race from Chicago, which, again, boy, they just can't buy a break there with the rain and all that. They had a pretty good weekend, with the festival and everything. And then, of course, rain marred the race on Sunday and turned it into a really wild situation there. But, other than that, pretty good weekend. We saw a decent race and ready to move on.
Do you like the setup in Chicago? It's so different than the other road course racing because this is truly a street course through a downtown metropolis like Chicago. Do you like that setup there, and do you think it's viable? Because I did see some of the disappointing side of this. They had some concerts beforehand, and no one attended the concerts, but it looked like the race itself was fairly well attended.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I don't know if it's going to work long term there. I mean, they've had weather problems each of the last 2 years, and the problem they got there is that you got a pretty tight window to get that race in, and
right.
We saw that happen this time. They had to put a curfew in place. 8:00 was the shutdown. And they had to use the clock, and we didn't race to the end of the race. We raced we raced the clock. They had to put a timer up and all that. And that's because it takes so long to build the course, and then you have to take it down on Sunday night so people can get to work Monday morning. So anytime there's weather that's going to happen. You can't come back and run that race on Monday. So that makes it a very risky proposition. So I like the racing. I like the venue. I think it's really cool, but I just don't know how feasible it's going to be going forward. So we'll just have to see. If they did not do well in the concerts and the other part of the festival, I'd say that's probably not good. I think they'll take the street race idea maybe somewhere else, but maybe Chicago's not the place to do it.
Is Saturday not an option for them to try and run that race just from the standpoint it's Chicago and they can't close the city streets on a Saturday?
Yeah, I don't think you can. Maybe they can run it on a Saturday. I mean, they've got the streets and the course. They run the Xfinity race on Saturday, so they're already there. The problem is, you can't light it. You can't light a road course or a street course that big, so you're limited as to how long you can run. So I don't know. They may have to take some look at some options like that. Maybe you run a Saturday doubleheader and then Sunday is there as a rain day if you need it. So they may have to do some things like that. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, they really, really wanted to do this. I think it's a good idea. I think the racing has been pretty good. The Chicago venue just comes with a lot of challenges. They run street races for F1 in Miami and some other places. So, maybe they look at taking it somewhere like that.
Jeff, I'd just like to point out the Georgia football roster can organize a drag race and get it up, running, and done in 45 minutes. So maybe they should hire them. Yeah,
they've got a lot of experience at that, probably more so than NASCAR does have putting on street races. So,
that's that's 100%. Somebody clip that audio. Jeff Owens joining us here in the Fast Lane, talking a little NASCAR. Jeff, I asked Josh Harris this, Darlington Raceway president, and as I asked him, I realized this is going to be a tough question for him to be honest about, but you can be honest about this. You've had the dirt track race in Bristol. They have the throwback weekend, which is a huge success, and I'm a firm believer in it. Never touch that. Always keep that going. All-Star race, now the street race in Chicago. More and more of these event-style races in NASCAR, so it's something to kind of promote during the week. Where do you think we are with that? Or is it enough? Is it too many, one too many, or do they actually need to add more because most of them have been successful?
I don't think all of them have been successful. Certainly, the dirt race at Bristol was not a success. North Wilkesboro, I think the jury's still kind of out on it. I think everybody loves the idea of going there, back to that historic track, but they haven't really been able to put the package together yet to produce a really good race. I think they'll keep working on that, and I think the same thing with the street race. I think they'll keep doing this. I think we're going to see some more street races. I think we're going to continue to see I don't know about the deal they start the season with in the L.A. Coliseum. That's one that they claim has gone well. I don't like it. I don't think it's gone well at all. I don't like that idea. Putting a race like that inside of a Coliseum, that's inside of a football Coliseum, I think that's one that's just not going to work. So I would love to see them move away from that. But I do think they're going to continue to try to go to different places and put some, unique situations into it. I think the street race thing will catch on and we'll go somewhere else. I think they'll keep working on Wilkesboro, and maybe we see, who knows, maybe we see some other new tracks come onto the schedule.
Jeff, about 90 seconds, I wanted to ask sort of a two-parter. First off, the news coming out that Bubba Wallace was fined but did not lose any points after his contact with Alex Bowman. Were you surprised that NASCAR was a little harsher with him? And also, were you surprised, I haven't seen it if it occurred, that Chase Elliott was not penalized for nearly the same thing after the race was over?
Yeah. I didn't really get the chance to see what happened with Chase. I think those two guys were just aggravated and banged into each other. Bubba went after Bowman and intentionally slammed him in the door, and I think, they've set a precedent that they're not going to tolerate that. I think what saved Bubba in points is that after the race, Alex Bowman came out and basically said that was 100% my fault. I wrecked him. I made him mad, and he actually requested NASCAR not fine him and not suspend him. He took total responsibility for it. I think that sort of helped Bubba a little bit, but he got off easy, not losing points for sure.
Yeah, because that could have been detrimental for his chance to get into the playoffs. Jeff, always good stuff, my friend. We appreciate the time tonight. Enjoy the race weekend at Pocono, and we'll catch up with you next week.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you, sir. There's Jeff Owen inside the fast lane. Always fun to catch up with Jeff.